Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today we are going to ignore that the anime spoiled the entire plot of the Holy Kingdom arc and take a look at why Hilma was so fascinated with Ainz Ooal Gown. But before we're going to do so, let me thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function who made one-time donations. Now with that said, let's start with why Albedo was so very mad about Hilma when Philip's mastermind was behind the attack of the grain transport of the Holy Kingdom. Well, the action of a reasonably smart man are way easier to predict than the action of a complete fool. But Philip was not just a regular fool, he was the king of fools, and he used his foolishness to attack the Sorcerer Kingdom more or less directly without putting too much thought into it, while the mercenaries escorting the grain transport assumed something else entirely. And by the way, they were just auxiliary troops of the Eight Fingers. But they still traveled under the flag of the Sorcerer Kingdom, and therefore an attack on them would also constitute an attack on the Sorcerer Kingdom itself, just like kidnapping Tuaro was an attack on Ainz Ooal Gown's own guild itself, since she was protected under his very name. And maybe since the anime has cut out this part too, I should explain why the attack was so successful, because in the books we actually get a POV of the mercenary captain escorting the grain transport, and he believed that another division of the Eight Fingers was attacking the grain transport, and therefore he saw no choice but to surrender, lest he himself would get involved into things way more complex and dangerous than he could even stand or even understand. And he was right. While Philip's armed peasants were able to seize the transport without a fight, Albedo was furious, for she blamed Hilma for the action of Philip and suspected treason. And with this in mind, she summoned Hilma to the Great Tomb of Nezarec to answer for the crimes of her subject in front of the Sorcerer King himself. And in the books, an audience chamber was used in order to welcome Hilma, not the throne room of Nezarec, for Ainz Ooal Gown found it too big for such a small occasion, and therefore tasked the floor guardians with decorating a spare room to their liking, something that they indeed fulfilled, and therefore filled Ainz Ooal Gown's heart with pride. And after Hilma, scared of being tortured again by the many cockroaches, crawled on the floor beneath Ainz Ooal Gown and prepared for the worst, Ainz Ooal Gown did something unexpected, because in his mind Hilda wasn't summoned to be punished, but in order to help explain what exactly happened. And therefore he used Dominate to completely control Hilma. Now in the books he also told Hilma what would happen and that she was not to be harmed by his spell. And by the way, this is also how justice is done in the Sorcerer Kingdom. Undead will charm a person in order to get the truth, nothing but the truth, and the entire truth out from all witnesses until the culprits of a crime are found and sentenced. And this even shocked Jerknef, whose empire was ordered to send all criminals to the Sorcerer Kingdom for trial. This alone should have axed the crime rate by a reasonable amount. And since they were put under a spell, all accused would spill out if they did anything, and if so, what specifically. There was virtually no margin of error, and this led to the Sorcerer Kingdom actually sending prisoners back with a note testifying their innocence, and that they had been framed for a crime that they did not have committed. And again, this shocked Jerknef, this unexpected mercy. And speaking of unexpected mercy, after Ainz made sure that Hilma really didn't do anything and that she had no multiple personalities or any other thing that could fail his spell, he concluded that it wasn't that big of a deal and that Philip did it alone, which was something that no other person thus far had even realized. But still, the Guardians were in disbelief, and Albedo argued that Hilma was the superior of Philip, and even though she herself did nothing wrong, was therefore still to blame for the attack, since she was responsible as a superior. But Ainz also managed to convince Albedo and the rest not to harm her, simply by stating that he, as the Sorcerer King, is also then to be blamed for the failure, since he's in charge of Albedo, who is in charge of Hilma, who had to deal with Philip. And it was this mercy that moved Hilma's heart, the Sorcerer King sparing her, despite Albedo clearly seeing her to be guilty, and she wasn't anything of value to the wider plot and the Sorcerer Kingdom, but still receiving the mercy from the Sorcerer King was something so unexpected that it really moved Hilma. And while the rest of the Fingers and even Hilma herself acknowledged that after being given the stick, tasting the carrot was an overwhelming mercy to Hilma, Hilma still couldn't help herself and was very thankful that the Sorcerer King saved her from a vengeful Albedo. And she praised the Sorcerer King so much that the other members of the Eight Fingers were worried that she had been mind-controlled by Ainz Ooal Gown. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Bad Guy Ye, Bad Burrito 316, B Zer, Ben C, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Crystal Prime, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downin, Ding Dong, Duckwagon, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feral Shivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Kyle R, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantom, Personage, Primus 11, Cune Caracos P, Shergox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rock Ed Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, and Zonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.